Ciao. So this is my episode for and finals in Inferno Canto 34. Canto 34 is the last canto of the Inferno book, and I will be doing lines 34, 34 till 57, which is 57. So yeah, here goes. Cel fu si bel com elie ora bruto, e contra il suo fattore alzò le ciglia. Bendi da lui procedere ogni lutto. Oh, quanto parve a me gran maraviglia quando io vidi tre facce alla sua testa, le una d'insati e quella era vermiglia, le altre erano due che su ingegno a questa sovresto, le ho mezzo di ciascuna spalla e se giugnegno. Sì. Al loco della cresta e la destra paera tra bianca e gialla, la sinistra a vedere era tal quali vegnon di là onde le Nilo se alvala. Sotto ciascuna uscivan due grandi ali, quanto si convenia a tanto un cielo. Vele di mar non vidio mai cotali. Non aven pene, ma di spistrello era lor modo, e quelle svolazzava, sì che tre venti si muoven da ello. Quindi cocito tutto se aggellava, con sei occhi piange, e per tre menti giocava le pianto e sanguinosa bava. Da ogni bocca dirompeva coi denti un peccatore aggiusa di maciulla, sicché tre face così dolenti. Okay. Now, as we go into lines 34, first I'm going to give you a background of where we are in Canto 34. So Canto 34 currently is the last canto in Inferno, and we have finally reached the lowest point in hell, and we are basically reaching the end. We're quite literally at the end of Inferno, and we are at the 9th circle, and this is like the pit in the bottom, and Dante and Virgil will soon be meeting the king of hell, aka Lucifer, aka Satan. Okay, so in lines 34, it is basically a description about how Lucifer went from this beautiful angel to now a fallen angel and is very ugly. He's the most ugly. He's like the imagery and the representation of the most like very ugly. In that line in Italian, it says being si bel com to being ora bruto shows the drastic contrast in like his physical and aesthetic feature. So then going into line 35, it kind of backs up that line 34 in saying the reason why he is ugly, the reason why he is the most ugly is because he rebelled against God. As he says here, il suo fattore alzò la ciglia, meaning like he raised his eye towards the maker, he raised his eye towards the master, aka God. So yeah, sucks for him. Moving on to line 37. Line 37 has an especially important word, maravilla, which also can translate to incredibile, which is just basically Dante saying to us specifically, okay, not to us specifically, but what he's seeing is just so incredibile that he just can't, he's obviously going to describe what he's seeing, but it's just so crazy, like the things that he's seeing. And we see him reference this also with Canto 13, and so onward, Dante si strefacce e la sua testa. So he sees basically one big head that has three faces, and this has a significant symbolism specifically to this Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. It's like one God in three persons. It's that reference, it's that connection, metaphor. Not metaphor, sorry. But it's that. So then he moves on into line 40 and into line 39 and 40. He talks about what colors they are, specifically the three heads, the one head with the three faces. He talks about what color each of them are. And first head that he sees, the one that's facing the front, that has the main head, is crimson. And then the one on the right is in between of white and yellow. And then the one on the left shoulder is Veniondia laonde il Nilo sevalla. And basically it's just very dark, deep color. So the left side of the face is very dark, very like maybe dark blue, maybe brown, like a really just dark, maybe even black. I think it's just black, but yeah, it's a dark color. That's 46, where he then says sotto ciascuna uscivan due grandi ali. So the due grandi is representing, and he's talking about how each face, each head on Satan's body has its own set of wings, and definitely has connections to each other in the sense that now it's talking about his wings and how they each head has a set of two, and that they get compared to bats. And so the story and why he makes this metaphor about his wings being like a bat's wings is because bats, historically, technically, they have basically in Aesop's fable, the bats were punished for betraying the birds and trying to be land animals. And so now they're basically outcasted in the sense that they're not fully a bird, but they're not also fully a land animal. So it kind of is quite literally describing like Satan's situation, where he was quite literally outcasted from heaven and sent and then fell. And yeah, so basically saying that he like flaps his wings like this, like all six of his wings, all six, they all flap, but they're freaking huge. Like they're so, on line 47, he's like, quanto si convenia a tanto un cielo vele di mar Non vido io mai cotali. He's never seen anything as large as this. And he's already made this comparison before. Or not even this comparison. He's made this note before where he's like, this guy is really big. Like, he's incredible. He's incredible. Oh my god, incredible. Yeah, he's freaking huge. Like, it's unbelievable how gigantic compared to the giants that they saw previously in Circle 8. Nothing literally can compare to how Satan looks, which he's like is crazy. And so him just flapping his wings, all 6 of his wings, has caused the super cold wind that he was feeling coming into the ninth circle, and seeing basically the cactus. That's what's causing the cactus to be frozen, and that's why all the sinners are like frozen and stuck in that one area, mainly because of the wings. The wings have caused the frozen lake. Yes. In these lines, he's saying that he has 6 eyes. Con sei occhi piange. So they're crying. All the eyes are crying. They're all weeping. All 6 eyes. And now keep it, like, we start to notice that there's like 6, 3, like there's always a value of 3, and there's always some type of working of 3. And that's just like a little metric style that Dante has used in literally throughout the entire Encanto, which I find very, very interesting and very particular thing to do. I've heard or seen and read where the description of Satan is completely like nonchalant and honestly very boring, because it's like we don't really get to know him, and it's like it's just completely different because there's nothing else to go off of besides the fact that he weeps. And I guess the only reason why he would weep and have no other emotion is because his evil is so deep and in depth that like he can't feel any sympathy, he can't feel any empathy. And the only reason why he's weeping is because although he is literally all the weight of all the sins in the universe. So of course, even the most evil of persons needs to weep, I guess. So, and then as we move on, 3 of his chins. 3. The 3 chins, he has 2 eyes for each head. 3 chins because there's 3 people, 3 faces. They're dripped in slobber and bloody saliva, basically. And he is eating 3 separate sinners. And that is where we leave off. And that is the end of my final.